Hello everybody and welcome back to the 2-week yoga challenge. My name is Freya if you're new here. And today's class is going to be a restorative and gentle yoga class. So we're really going to be moving really mindfully and gently with the body. This class is perfect to do at any time of day. I did it with the sunrise, which is just a really, really beautiful way to wake up in the morning. So beginning in a comfortable seat, sitting either cross-legged or on your knees. And just bring your palms to face up, close down the eyes. We're going to start to take a few full belly breaths in through the nose. Maybe for the first round, take a sigh out through the mouth. Continue to breathe through the nose only, filling the belly as you inhale and emptying completely with the exhale. Allow the breath to move fluidly in through the nose. And maybe rolling over the back of the throat with the exhale. Take one more full breath. And then on your inhale, start to float your hands together in prayer, pressing the thumbs to the sternum. Take a gentle tug of the chin. Continue to breathe and then open your eyes. Open the hands back on the lap. And just rock the neck from side to side. Just take a few stretches. Roll the shoulders. Just do anything you need to wake up the body. And then we're going to come into a gentle twist. So bringing yourself back to stillness, take an inhale, sweep up the arms. And then exhale, we're going to twist over the right leg. Left hand comes behind the back. Breathe in through the nose, open up and expand the chest, and just make sure that your sit bones are still grounded on the mat. Keep the breath in the belly. And then as you inhale, start to bring yourself back to the center. Reach up the hands, press the palms together, and then exhale, we'll take the other side. So the same thing here, this time the right arm, or the left arm, sorry, is coming behind. We're twisting over and around onto the left leg. Keep breathing in through the nose only. Maybe opening the chest a little bit more with every inhale. And then sweep yourself back to the center. Inhale, sweep your arms up, press the palms together, hands come through heart center. Coming now into all fours, we're going to come into an extended child's pose. So just take the knees underneath the hips. Touch the big toes together, send the knees out wide, and then sink the hips down towards the heels. Reach the arms forward, and if you can, connect the forehead to the mat. If you can't, just pressing into your hands is enough. We should be feeling a really lovely stretch on the inside of the hips. Once you feel settled here, start to bring the breath deeply in through the nose, filling up the belly. Maybe if it feels good here, let out a sigh out through the mouth. And again, maybe using the exhale to draw your chest a little bit closer to the mat. But just notice if you're holding on to any tension, can you relax the body further and deeper with every in and out breath? Beautiful. With your next inhale, start to gently and slowly press yourself back up into a tabletop. Take the knees underneath the hips, the hands underneath the shoulders, and just rock the body gently from side to side. Reach up the right arm. We're going to come into a twist. We're going to tuck the right arm underneath the left shoulder, and we're going to lay down onto that right shoulder. Take a moment here. You can stay here, or if you want to go a little bit deeper, perhaps taking that left arm around the back. Again, really relax the body, but just notice that my sit bones are high here. So there should be a right angle from the knee all the way up to the sit bones or the tailbone. Keep the breath in the belly. Should be feeling a lovely opening along the shoulder and along the chest. Close down the eyes if it feels good. We're really turning inwards in this practice. We're just allowing ourselves to feel how the body is feeling rather than make any judgment about how it's looking. Just a few more breaths. Taking about 10 breaths in each pose in this class. It's just a really beautiful way to connect with your body and to breathe deeply into the belly. Beautiful. With your next inhale, taking that hand back to the mat, taking both hands to the mat and just rocking yourself from side to side. We're going to get ready to come into the other side, so just doing any movements you need before you take the other side. And when you're ready, right hand to the mat, left arm reaches up. Just take a moment here to twist, and then exhale, come on to that left shoulder. Again, stay here with the right hand, or if it feels good, tuck that right arm behind the back. This is just a really nice way to actively open up the chest, but we don't want to be pulling or pushing too much in this pose. We really just want to be passive in this practice, as it's a restorative practice. We're really not trying to pull or push our bodies into any of the poses. Keep the breath in the belly. Again, we've got 10 full breaths. Exhaling out the mouth with a sigh is always there if you feel like you need to release a little bit of tension. And then when you're ready, start to press into the hands, come back into kneeling. Gently rock the body from side to side, rolling the back. And then we're going to come into melting heart pose. We're going to reach the arms forward and we're going to keep the sit bones high, and at the same time start to draw the chest down towards the mat. If you can, take your chin to the mat and close down the eyes. So again, this is a really, really good shoulder opener. It's a great way to start the day, or even to finish the day if you've been sitting for a long period, maybe on a laptop or at a desk. Maybe for a little bit extra, you can tuck the toes behind you. Just give yourself a little toe stretch. It's just an added bonus. Keep breathing through the nose. Allow that breath to move fluidly and deeply into the belly. Just a few more moments here, and then gently press up into tabletop. Rock yourself from side to side, and then take the hands underneath the shoulders again, knees underneath the hips, and we're going to come into lying on our belly. So just making your way down to lying down, we're going to come into Cobra Pose. So first we're going to lay down just in an Advasana. So taking the right ear on the mat, close the eyes, arms along either side with the palms facing up. And then we're going to take the hands underneath the shoulders. So the hands should be in line with the nipple line here. Touch the big toes together, start to squeeze the legs, and at the same time start to peel the chest off the mat. There should be little to no weight in the hands here. We're not pressing up with the hands. We're just using the hands to support us. Make sure that you're not crunching the neck. Try and imagine that you're lifting the base of the neck, just gazing over the front of the mat. Keep breathing. Notice where you're holding tension. And then gently release down, come back into Advasana, taking the left ear to the mat, palms facing up, arms either side of the body. Just wiggle the hips from side to side if it feels good. And then the next pose we're going to do is Sphinx Pose. Or if you are quite flexible and advanced in your practice, you might come into Seal Pose. So we'll go into Sphinx first by bending the elbows. Same principle here, we're peeling off the chest, but this time we're going to take the legs a little bit wider and we're going to turn the heels to face in. Start to lift up the chest, open the chest, and then maybe you come into Seal Pose by straightening the arms, and maybe even further by taking the hands close to the body. Again, really listen to your body here. If it doesn't feel good in your lower back or anywhere else, bring yourself down to the easier option. Remember, we are in a restorative class, so we don't want to be pulling or pushing the body into these poses. We want to be feeling nice and relaxed. As always, keep the breath in the belly, breathing in through the nose only, and then gently place yourself back down on the mat, touch the big toes together, Advasana with the right ear on the mat. Again, use this opportunity just to gently rock out the hips if it feels good. And we'll just enjoy this pose for just a few moments. And then when you're ready, press back up into child's pose, but we're going to come into a short-legged child's pose. So we're going to bring the knees together, touch the forehead to the mat, and then we're going to come into rabbit pose, taking a hold of the feet and rocking onto the top of the head, lifting the sit bones off the heels. So you should be feeling this in the lower back. It's just a beautiful counter stretch when you've done some quite deep lower back stretches. So again, just staying here for a few breaths and then gently and slowly bringing yourself up, back to kneeling and coming to sit down. We're going to reach the legs in front and come into a forward fold. So sitting on the sit bones, just give your legs a little wiggle from side to side. And then when you're ready, sweep the arms up and then start to fold over the legs. This time we're going to bend the back. So we're not going to be straightening the back. We're really using that bend to bring the forehead close to the knees. And the knees are soft, the feet are soft. So we're not flexing the toes. This is a very yin version of this pose. So again, we're really just using gravity to do the work for us. And we're getting a double stretch because we're getting a really beautiful stretch along the top of the back as well. Keep breathing. Just allow your breath to flow naturally through the nose only. Beautiful. When you're ready, start to sit up. Take the hands either side of you and just wiggle the legs out from side to side. Give yourself a little massage with the knees. And then we're going to draw the soles of the feet together and we're going to come into butterfly pose. So staying on the sit bones, drawing the soles of the feet together and just sending the knees out wide. Taking a hold of the feet if it's available for you. And we'll just stay here for a moment before we fold down over the legs. So again, we're rounding the back here. We're using this more as a restorative pose. But you should be feeling this in the inside of the hips, perhaps a little bit on the thighs and the outside of the shins as well. Keep breathing through the nose only, deep, full belly breaths. Beautiful. So when you feel ready, start to bring yourself out of the pose. Straighten the right leg and we're going to come into a seated twist. So we're going to take the right foot over the left leg. Maybe you stay here, or if you're a little bit more advanced and have a little bit more flexibility, you'll bend that right leg. Just make sure that both of your sit bones are on the mat. Once you're comfortable, sweep up the arms and we're going to take the right elbow around and onto the left thigh. Use that left hand behind you as an anchor, and as always, just breathe deeply in through the nose. So again, there should be no pain in the knees here. If there are pain in the knees, you might have gone too far. Maybe you need to stretch that right leg back out. Otherwise, keep the breath in the belly. Just got a few more rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, start to bring yourself out of the pose. Come into a quick counter twist on the other side. Just take a few breaths in through the nose and then bring yourself back to the center. Take the hands behind the back. Rock back onto the sit bones and just bring the legs out in front. Give yourself a little tap. Tap the knees out, wiggle out the legs. And then we'll come into the other side. So again, if you're a little bit tight, you'll be keeping that left leg in front, taking the right foot over. Or if you're a little bit looser, you can come into the full expression by bending that left leg. Again, no pain in the knees. Sweep the arms up, and then the left elbow comes around onto the right thigh. Coming into that twist. So again here, this time we're using the right hand as an anchor just to keep the back straight. And as you inhale, expand the chest. Maybe as you exhale, open a little bit deeper. Keep breathing deeply in through the nose, out through the nose. On your next inhale, come back to the center, sit back on your sit bones, unwind the legs, and again just stretch out the legs in front of you, tap out the knees. And then we're going to come into a variation of lotus. So we're going to bring the left foot to the inside of the thigh and then the right foot slightly on top. If you can come into full lotus, I do encourage you to do so. Otherwise, we're just sitting back on the sit bones, straighten the back, and then gently start to fold over the legs. So we should be feeling this stretch on the outside of the right glute and slightly into that right hip as well. Keep breathing through the nose and just allow the body to be heavy over the legs. Again, round the spine. Really doesn't matter how you look here. Just allowing gravity to do the work, keeping the breath deep. Gently and slowly bring yourself back up, and then we'll switch the legs. So take the hands behind the sit bones and just switch the legs by straightening the legs out first, tap out the knees. And then when you're ready this time, the right foot comes to the inside of the thigh, and then the left foot goes on top or around. Take a moment here, and then when you're ready, start to tiptoe yourself over the legs. Again, rounding the back, closing the eyes, allowing the forehead to be guided down towards the mat. Keep breathing through the nose. And then when you're ready, start to tiptoe yourself back up. Take the hands behind the back, straighten out the legs, and just shift yourself forwards a little bit. We're going to come to lying down on our back just for a mini Shavasana. Take the feet a little bit wide. Allow the hands to fall out either side of the body, palms facing up. And then we're going to come into thread the needle. So with your next inhale, bring your right knee towards your chest and then take your left foot over and around onto that right thigh. Start to thread the left hand in between that right thigh and then take a hold of the right shin. Start to draw the knee towards the chest while at the same time keeping a 45-degree angle with that left foot. Should be a similar stretch to the one we just did sitting up. So just notice how the body is feeling in this pose. Can you breathe into any areas of discomfort? As always, we'll be here for about 10 breaths. So just close the eyes. Become fully present in your practice. Allow the breath to flow in and out of the nose. And then release the arms, release the legs. Bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a big hug, taking your forehead to your knees. Release back down on the mat, and then we'll take the other side. So this time the right foot is coming onto the left thigh And then we're threading the right hand in between the thighs, taking a hold of the right shin. 10 full deep belly breaths. Start to unwind the legs, release the hands, give yourself a big hug into a ball, bringing the forehead to the knees. And then release your feet onto the mat. We're going to come into bridge pose. The feet are close to the sit bones. Take the feet about a hip width distance apart and start to lift up the hips. We're going to come into an active bridge, so interlace the fingers behind you and come high up onto the shoulders. Lifting up through the hips and just keeping a gentle tuck of the chin. Keep the breath in the belly. You can start to feel the belly rise as you inhale and as you exhale. Just got a few more breaths here. Keep lifting up and pressing through the feet. There should be no pinching or pain in the lower back, so just be really gentle and mindful with your body. When you feel ready, release the hands and start to bring yourself slowly and gently down onto the mat. Windshield wiper the knees from side to side just to release out any tension in the lower back. And then just release yourself down into a mini Shavasana. We're going to come into a laying twist now. So just start to bring the knees in towards the chest. And we're going to come into a twist on the left side. So either directly taking the knees over to the left, or coming into the advanced option, taking a twist or a bind with the feet, and then bringing yourself over to the left side. So the right foot or right leg is twisted around the left. Gaze out along that right hand and close down the eyes. 10 full belly breaths through the nose only. And then when you're ready, gently and slowly bring yourself back up. Unwind the legs. Give your knees a big hug into the chest, maybe rolling up into a tight little ball. And then we'll get ready to come into the other side. So again, if you're taking the bind, taking the left leg around the right this time. And we'll bring the legs over to the right side. Gaze along that left arm and keep the breath deeply in the belly. With your next inhale, bring yourself back to the center, unwind the legs, give yourself a big hug. And then we're going to come into waterfall. So keeping the knees where they are, we're going to release the hands. And we're going to start to reach up the legs and at the same time reach up the arms. The knees can be as bent as much as they need to. This should be a really comfortable position. So there should be no pain or strain in the abdominals. We should just be really relaxing here. This is also called dead fly pose, so just bending the knees, maybe bending and relaxing the arms. It's just a beautiful way to get some fresh energy back into the core, especially at the beginning of the day if you've just woken up, or even at the end of the day if you've been on your feet for a long time. Just a few more full deep belly breaths here. And then bend the knees, take a hold of the inside of the feet, come into a happy baby. Make this a little active happy baby by rocking yourself from side to side, maybe straightening one leg, Just doing anything that feels good before you bring yourself into stillness for a few conscious, deep, full belly breaths. Release the feet, release the arms either side of the body, and we'll float down to Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet are touching, knees are flaring out wide, right hand on the heart, left hand on the belly. Breathe in through the nose. This is the last asana for the class. So just connect with any intention that you've made before this practice, anything you want to cultivate into your day today. And just take these last few moments just to thank yourself for taking the time to do this practice, for looking after your body, looking after your mind. When you're ready, stretch your legs out to your final Shavasana. Stay here as long as you need. This is where I'll be leaving you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.